Good day everyone, we are group number 9 and we are going to explain and develop the problem solution essay. First of all, we hope everyone is fine, okay at your home, and we hope you are staying at home for keeping safe yourself and your family. Now let's start with explanations. What can we say about the problem solution essays? Well, these kind of essays are very common. We use them frequently when we are on our college life, when we are working on an investigation, or when we are solving a test. And basically, this kind of essays tries to analyze the problems of a particular situation, and then we must propose a method to find the solution of those problems. If we want to do a good problem solution essay, we must choose a problem that offers us a challenge to create, to think the solutions of those problems with creativity and ingenuity. Some characteristics of this kind of essays are that the problem we choose needs to be solved. What does that mean? Well, it's frequently that most of the people choose a particular problem and they make their analysis, they make their solutions, but they forget about other problems. And also we have to choose the problems which have more importance than others. Also, we must identify more than one solution. Maybe the solution that we offer is not enough, or maybe the solution we offer can fail. Besides, if we want to support our solutions, we must give details, we must give examples, we must give facts. And that is pretty important because if we want to argue our solutions, we can present that information and people will believe that our solutions are the best ones for solve that problem. And finally, we must write those essays with an analytical tone. That means that we are talking seriously. We are not giving opinions, personal opinions. We are trying to solve a problem. We must be careful with this kind of essays because they are pretty similar to the cause and effect essays because of their structure. Remember that we are trying to find the solutions for the problems. We are not finding out the reasons that cause the problems. Problem solution essays have 4 components, which are the first one, the presentation of the situation, where we can write about the context, about actors, about the places where the actions develop. Then the second one is the analysis of the problems, where we can write them as a thesis statement and we analyze the problems that we figure out about the situation. The third one is the presentation of the solutions that can solve the problem we figure out. And the final one, as a manner of conclusion, a kind of evaluation. The purpose of this evaluation is to tell why it is important to solve the problem and explain why the solutions that we make are the best ones to solve those problems.
Hello everybody, my name is Ricardo Alexander Fuenteventura and I'm going to explain you the feature of this type of essay, the problem solution essay, and how different or similar is from the other ones. First, in a problem solution essay, you analyze a problem and propose a method for solving it. In this type of essay, you need to discuss the problem with regard to a particular topic and then suggest a possible solution for this problem. The problem you choose to analyze should be one that offers some challenge but is still possible to resolve. A problem solution essay have the following characteristics. The first, a problem that needs to be solved, a thesis statement that identifies the problem and points of view toward the solution, identification of several possible solutions, specific facts, details, examples, and reason, identifying why is the best solution for this problem, and finally an analytical tone. This problem solution essay has two more features. The first one is it can be helpful to explain the problem and a good way to write it. You can use the following question to like a guide to create your own problem. How many problems are discussed? What are they? What expressions are used to introduce the problem? How are the problem illustrated further? What results are discussed for each problem? As I said, you can use this question as a guide. The other one is the other feature is you can use to identify a solution with the next question. How many solutions are given? What are they? What three different groups of people does the writer say are responsible for this solution? How would the solution be implemented? And what three modal verbs structure are used to make this suggestion? How different and similar is from the other type of essay. Let's start with the difference. The difference from the other type of essay are, in the descriptive essay you may describe a place, event, person, or anything interesting for the reader. In this type of essay, usually you can use questions to clarify what are you talking about, like what do you smell, what do you taste, what do you see, or what do you hear. The compare and contrast essay, you have to examine how things are similar and contrast how different are things from the others. They are from the other. The narrative essay tells a story. It can be imaginary or real. It can also tell a story about somebody's life. The effective narrative essay allows readers to visualize everything that's happening in their minds. The classification essay is a useful method of organizing data and simplify complicated notion. A classification essay is a type of writing assignment that is aimed to classify the subject or otherwise to estimate the age of them placing under a relevant category. The similar theme of this essay, the problem solution essay, is similar to the cause and effect scenario because we have to determine a scenario in which one actions or event cause certain effects to occur. The aim is to explain the causes, reason, or the effect, results of an event or situation causes and effect is common. This method of organizing and discussing ideas similar to the problem solution essay, where we have two possible scenarios, a problem and the solution.
Now I'm going to explain how to develop a problem solution essay. A problem solution essay is not the most common type of writing assignment given to the modern student. However, it does have an important purpose, that is to stimulate the society to look for solutions for the most whispered problems of the world. Now we are going to divide it in 7 steps. The first step is to define the problem. In the first step, you have to define a problem that you're concerned about or interested about. And then instead of this, you have to identify which terms, concepts, or ideas need to be defined as well. Step 2 is to analyze the problem. So you have to figure it out, what is the history of the problems, the causes of the problem, the symptoms of the problem, what methods, approaches, law, policies exist for dealing with the problem, and also what are the limitations of the methods that we mentioned before. In the step 3, you have to define a criteria for an optimal solution. So you have to ask yourself what are the guidelines that you have to follow for a workable solution. The step 4, you have to propose a solution. So after you have analyzed the problem and suggest criteria for a solution, try to envision a possible solution in tentatives and also hypothetical terms. The step 5 is to evaluate the proposed solution. So after you have compiled a list of possible solutions, you have to select the best possible solution in light of the criteria. Then you have to figure out the disadvantage or downside to the solution, and if the disadvantage outweighs the advantage. Step 6, you have to select the solution, so you have to wait all the merits and deficiency of your top one or two solution, and also you have to identify what will be the long-term and short-term effects of the solution if it were adopted. So finally, the step 7 is to suggest a strategy to implement the solution. So you have to identify how can you get public approval and support for the solution selected. You have to identify which steps are necessary to implement, the first step that you have to follow, and also how can your group evaluate the success of the problem solution efforts.
Hello, today I will give you 5 tips on how to write this type of paper. Well, remember that this type of essays asks for reasons and solutions, not to problems and solutions. So try to write about the reason and the cause, and remember that it's not the same write about the problem. Then, second, you should answer the questions. You should do question and you should answer it, because when you have it, you can write about the problem and you can organize all your ideas on the paragraph. 3. You only need 2 or 3 problems, as remember, you don't have too much time to explain all the ideas, so it's important only have 2 or 3 problems. Also, try to make sure your solutions are not too simplistic. It's all too easy to make sweeping generalization about what people can do. And 5, include the situation in the introduction and the evaluation in the conclusion.